So if when you do happen to be working in Google Chrome, you do this, and instead of closing one particular tab, you close all of them in one go. And this is really handy for if you're kind of restarting and you've closed things automatically. It's okay because you're able to get it all back. You just open a new window of Google Chrome, Control, Shift, and T. Keyboard shortcut will open up all of the tabs that you had going in the first place. If you're restarting or if you just accidentally close things, that will get them back really, really quickly. Hi guys, I'm Andy, aka Googleman. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about making Google Chrome something that you could consider to be kind of the beating heart of Google Workspace, that bit more productive. And the way we're going to be looking at that is by reducing the friction on starting whatever project or task that you're doing when you get into using Google Chrome, whether that is picking up where you left off last time, whether it's reloading tabs like we've seen already, or whether it's just making, searching for things that little bit easier. So let's not waste too much time. Let's just jump straight back in. So on the back of that last one, okay, so something that I use really, really often, particularly because I'm a Chromebook user, I tend to like lock and close my profiles quite a lot to kind of move between users, because I've got different ones for my Googleman self and my school self and things like that. Now on here, what I'm actually able to do is make it so when I close a profile, even though it closes Chrome, when I go back in, it continues where I left off. So if I had loads and loads of tabs open that I know I need the next time I'm in there, it will bring those back up for me straight away. It's really, really quick, easy thing to do. So if you go to your three dots in the top right over here and click on settings, in the kind of like window that opens here, if you go down to the left hand side here, you've got on startup. Click on that and you've got three options. You've got open a new tab page. If you want to start fresh each time, you can do that. You might have a specific page or set of pages. Okay, now you might want to use this one. If you chop and change quite a lot, then you could do that. But I tend to have the same kind of like block of tabs open every time. Okay, I'll talk about those in a moment as well. So I use continue where you left off. So then when I kind of like move between my profiles, when I log back in to my Googleman profile, it opens up all of those tabs waiting for me to go into what I need to do. It's just another way of reducing that friction. Okay, so even when you've got all your tabs open, whether you've Control-Shift-T to bring them back or whether you have just got them kind of like picked up where you left off from before, it's all very well, but even so, it can be really distracting. What you can see on here is I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tabs open. And these are tabs that I use all of the time. And whenever I log into Googleman, they are always open for me. But it can be really, really cluttered. It can be really distracting. So what you can actually use are tab groups to group these things together by task and kind of color code them. And there's another step on top of that that makes this grouping even less distracting and kind of takes even more friction away. So I have three main categories that I have for my tabs. I have, as Googleman, that is. So I have my kind of like admin and communications group. I have my creations kind of creating videos group, and I have my publishing group as well. So all you need to do to set this up is if I were to create my creation group, for example, so I've got my Google Drive here, I right click on the tab that I want and add to a new group. I haven't got any groups open at the moment, so this is all I need to add to a new group. It's my creation one. I'm going to make it blue. And I'm going to call it just create and hit enter. So as you can see there, it's color coded that tab blue with a little label next to it. Now it looks like it's adding things, and it is. It's added that kind of like little label to it, but bear with me. These sets of tabs over here, okay, so I've got a couple of my YouTube Studio dashboards on there, so I can kind of move around without having to interrupt myself. I've got my website there, and I've got my mailing list information there as well. So I've got a Google Sheet with all the email addresses that have come in, and also the actual form itself that's embedded into the website. And I want to put all of those into another group called Publish, because it's all information that I'll deal with on Publish. So I right click onto the next tab over. I'm then going to add to group. It's a new group, so I'm going to click on new group, and this one I'm going to call Publish, and I'm actually going to set this one as the color red. So there we go. So you can see that channel dashboard is now in there in its own group. I then go through and I'm going to right click on all of these and add them to that group. So right click on there, add to group, publish, and then I'll do the same thing all the way down here. Okay, so add to group, publish, add to group, publish. Now obviously at the moment I'm not working in my publish group, so I don't want to have those open cluttering my kind of like tab bar across the top. So because I'm not using that group at the moment, if I click on the word publish that I've got there, it will collapse those tabs down. So instead of having sort of all those tabs, 8 tabs plus the labels, I've just got that label that's got what, 5 tabs in it. And when I'm ready, I can open that tab group. They're there, they're loaded and ready, okay, but I don't have to see and use them. I'll do the same thing over on this side. So I've got my email open on here. So I'm going to add to group, new group. This is going to be my admin and communication group. So I'm just going to call it admin. I'm going to make it green. Hit enter, and there it's made green. And I've got Google Keep open here as well, which I use for all my checklists for making my videos. I've talked about how I use Keep before. Okay, so do check out my videos on Google Keep. I'll link those for you above and below. Add to group, admin, and again, because I'm not using that group, I'm going to collapse it down. So I now just have 1 tab and 3 groups there ready to go, so I can open those whenever I see fit. So particularly with the email one, if I don't want to be distracted by my emails, but I want to keep them open in the same window as the one I'm using, I've got it there and I can check it whenever I want to. The next important thing that I have to think about here is when I'm creating, okay, I open documents and create new folders as I go, okay, particularly creating documents. So if I say I'm going to write a new script or overview for my next video, I'm in my Google Drive area here, and I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Shift and T. It'll ask me if I want to create and share because this is a shared folder. And it does. Now what it's doing is that shortcut has created that new Google Doc for me, but critically it's added it to the folder where I was actually in my Google Drive, and it's also added it to the tab group that Google Drive was part of, so that if I don't want to use that at that particular moment, but I do want to keep it open, I could collapse that group down with all of those in. You've got keyboard shortcuts for other things as well. If I wanted to open a new Google Sheets, Shift and S will open a new Google Sheet for me. I could then use the keyboard shortcut Control, Shift and Tab to go back to my Google Drive. Again, okay, I can cycle through those with keyboard shortcuts. Shift and P will start a new Google Slides presentation for me, okay, and they're open and ready to go. And because I've got all these in this group, I can use just Control and Tab. So if I didn't want to go in a particular direction, Control and Tab will cycle through the tabs that I have there, but only within that tab group. So I'm not going through, if you've got say 20 tabs open and you only want to be cycling between 3 or 4 of them, you group them together, collapse the other tabs, and you will just cycle in that tab group, okay? If you did want to create new docs, slides, or sheets not within the group, okay, and you wanted to put them in a particular place later, say you wanted to create notes really, really quickly, Control and T will open a new ungrouped tab for you, and you can type in doc.new into your URL bar, and it will open a new Google Doc for you. You can also do the same thing with sheet.new will give you a new Google Sheet, and if you go slide.new, it will create a new Google slide for you. They're not grouped with any of your tabs, they're not put in any particular folder, but there's really quick access for you to get at those. Okay, now this last one has to be one of my favorites, and I think I've used this probably more than any of the others, and it's the ability to basically turn any website that has a built-in search function in it into its own search engine that you don't have to go straight to the website to do. It does it for you from the address bar. Okay, now I've got this set up already for a couple, so if I've got something, say, in my Google Drive that I want to be able to find, okay, I can just go Control T to open a new tab. I type in DR and then tab, and it says search in Google Drive, and I can just do a quick search in there. So if I type in just AKA, for example, I'm looking for the folder where I keep everything. Or anything that kind of references the word AKA, it will do that search from me. I haven't had to navigate to Google Drive to do that. I've done it from the URL bar. Now, the key moment when I tend to use this is once you're done with it, of course, you can close it. Control and W will close the tab that you're on. I use this for YouTube quite a lot. Okay, as a music teacher, I'm looking for music examples all of the time. Now, I don't have one set up at the moment, but I'm going to show you how to really, really quickly and easily do this for any website that you're using. First thing I'm going to do is Control T and actually navigate to youtube.com. Okay, because I need to be able to access the URL used for searching in YouTube. So once the page has opened, okay, I'm going to use the / over on the right hand side of my keyboard to access the search bar. That shortcut works in basically anything. It works in Drive and Gmail as well. Okay, and I'm going to type in akagoogleman into my search bar, all one word, just a subtle hint there, and hit enter. Now, I'm not too worried about what the results are. Okay, the key thing I'm after here is the address here in that bar at the top. Okay, so I'm going to select that and copy it with Control C. What I'm then going to do is go to my 3 dots over here and go back to my settings menu where I was earlier on. But instead of going down to one start, I'm going to go to search engine. Now, this is where you set up your default search engine. Obviously, it's set to Google. You can see it on here. But I also have manage search engines on here as well. So I'm going to click into there, and you can see I've got a couple of options for main search engines, but I have other search engines in here as well. You can see the shortcut I used for Google Drive earlier on. And what I'm able to do is I'm going to add this in. So the search engine is YouTube, because that's the website I'm searching. The keyword, now that is going to be like the keyboard shortcut that you will put into access. I'm going to put YT, okay, 2 little letters, really, really quick. And then into here, this is the URL that I've just copied. I'm going to Control V to paste that in, and I'm going to just remove the search criteria that I put in that case, aka googleman. I'm going to replace it with the %sign and S, and then click on add. Now, what this will allow me to do is do exactly what I did with Google Drive and search for a particular item, but use it in YouTube. So I'm just going to access the bar there. So I'm going to go Alt and D on my keyboard to take me up to the URL bar, and type in YT and tab, and there it is, search YouTube. And I can type in aka googleman again, and instead of having to navigate to YouTube and then go to the search bar and then give me my results, I go straight to my URL bar with a brand new tab. I haven't gone anywhere, and I can type in my search query there and then. And this one I use literally every single teaching day to access things. It is so quick, and you can set it for any website that has a search bar on there. You just need to copy that URL. And there we go, guys. That is it for today's video. I hope this has been really, really helpful to you. I know I use these tricks with Google Chrome pretty much every single day when I'm coming onto my computer, whether I am being Mr. Williams the teacher or whether I am being Googleman. And I really hope you can take these things away as well. I will see all of you guys next time. Until then, stay well, stay safe. Googleman out.